How much of what you've heard is just a story, and how much is real? What makes a story truly terrifying? Is it the ghoulish monster or the twisted plot, or is it something else entirely? A tiny, nagging thought in the back of your mind. The chilling possibility that the story is real. Urban legends thrive in this murky space between fiction and fact. They are modern folklore, passed from person to person, evolving with each telling. These aren't ancient myths about gods and heroes. They are stories that happen on roads you might drive, in towns you might visit, to people who could be your neighbors. That proximity makes them so potent. They prey on our most primal fears, the dark, the unknown, a stranger's knock. Tonight, we'll turn off the logical part of our brains and journey into 5 of the most disturbing urban legends ever told. Imagine you're driving down a deserted highway late at night. The rain is coming down in sheets. Visibility is low. Your headlights cut a lonely path through the darkness. Then you see her, a figure on the side of the road, drenched and alone. A young woman, maybe in a white dress, looking lost. Your conscience gets the better of you, and you pull over to offer her a ride. She quietly gets in the back seat. She gives you an address just a few miles down the road. She then falls silent. The journey continues in an eerie quiet, broken only by the rhythmic thump of the windshield wipers. You finally arrive at the address she gave you. It's a quiet, suburban house, dark except for a single porch light. You turn to tell her you've arrived, but the back seat is empty. She's gone, vanished into thin air. Confused, maybe a little spooked, you knock on the door of the house. An elderly person answers. You explain what happened, describing the young woman you picked up. The homeowner's face turns pale. They tell you the woman you're describing is their daughter. She died in a car crash on that very same stretch of road, years ago to the day. This is the classic tale of the vanishing hitchhiker, one of the most widespread urban legends. Versions of this story have been reported all over the world for over a century. One famous iteration is Resurrection Mary, said to haunt roads near Resurrection Cemetery in Justice, Illinois. A young woman in a white party dress who vanishes as cars pass the cemetery gates. The specifics, a scarf, a book, a puddle, even a borrowed jacket later found over a tombstone, are the details that make believers out of skeptics. The scene is almost always the same. You're home alone late at night. Maybe you're watching TV or reading a book. Suddenly, there's a knock at the door. It's insistent, but not aggressive. You hesitate. Who could it be at this hour? You look through the peephole and see 2 children standing on your porch. They look to be between the ages of 10 and 13. Their clothing is a little odd, maybe slightly old-fashioned, but nothing too alarming. They need your help. They ask to use your phone to call their parents, or they say they're lost and ask to come inside for a moment. Something feels wrong. A deep, primal dread washes over you. The children speak in a monotone, rehearsed voice. They are unnervingly calm and persuasive.
Let us in! We won't be long!
Then, you notice their eyes, completely black. No iris, no sclera, 2 solid, depthless orbs. The sight is paralyzing. Terror blossoms. Your instincts scream, "Don't open the door." Reports of black-eyed children began surfacing online in the late 1990s. One early, widely circulated account came from journalist Brian Bethel. He said in 1996 in Abilene, Texas, 2 boys with coal-black eyes approached his car and asked for a ride. Since then, similar reports have appeared worldwide. Quiet suburban neighborhoods, bustling city centers, the pattern consistent. 2 children, a request to be let inside a home or vehicle, and those soulless black eyes. The belief stems from the overwhelming unnatural fear they provoke. Some say demons, some say aliens, some say interdimensional beings. Skeptics call it creepypasta. But those who stood behind the door listening to polite monotone requests, staring into black voids, know it felt real. This legend is different. It wasn't born from decades of folklore whispered around a campfire. It was born on the internet. In 2009, a user on the Something Awful forums digitally altered 2 black and white photographs of children, inserting a tall, unnaturally thin figure in a black suit in the background. The figure had no face. He was given a name, the Slender Man. The creator wrote captions hinting at abducted children and a mysterious entity that stalked them. The legend was born, and it took on a life of its own, collaboratively built by an online community. He is described as a tall, thin humanoid, with abnormally long arms which can be extended to capture his prey. He wears a black suit and has a completely blank, white, featureless face. He is often associated with forests and abandoned locations. He is said to stalk, abduct, and traumatize people, particularly children. He can cause memory loss, paranoia, and a sickness known as slender sickness. He doesn't just chase you, he gets inside your head. Sightings are difficult to verify given his fictional origins. However, the line between story and reality blurred in a horrifying way. Found footage web series like Marble Hornets added layers of realism and lore that captivated millions. The belief became tragically real in 2014 in Waukesha, Wisconsin. Two 12-year-old girls lured a friend into the woods and stabbed her 19 times, claiming they did it to become proxies of the Slender Man and prove his existence. The victim miraculously survived. This horrific event cemented the legend's place in modern culture, not as a monster that might be real, but as a fiction so powerful it could drive people to commit real-world atrocities. Slender Man proves that sometimes the most terrifying thing about a monster is not whether it exists, but what people will do in its name. The sound carries on the night air, thin and mournful. A woman's cry filled with an eternity of sorrow and regret. Those who hear it feel a cold spike of dread. They know who it is. It is La Llorona, the weeping woman. Her legend is deeply woven into the fabric of Hispanic culture. A terrifying cautionary tale passed down through generations. The story goes that a beautiful woman named Maria, consumed by rage and jealousy after her husband left her, committed an unspeakable act. She drowned her own children in a river. Overcome with horror, she threw herself in as well, but her spirit was denied entry into the afterlife. She was condemned to wander the earth for eternity, forever searching for the children she murdered. She is said to roam near rivers, lakes, and other bodies of water, perpetually weeping, crying, "Ay, mis hijos." Her ghostly form, a tall, slender woman, dressed in a flowing white gown, her face obscured. Sightings are reported across Mexico, the American Southwest, Central and South America, chilling cries on the night air, a white figure drifting along the water's edge before vanishing. The legend serves as a boogeyman for children, warning them from dangerous waters after dark. More than a ghost story, it's a cultural touchstone. For many, as real as the rivers she haunts, a sorrowful specter whose grief can be deadly. In the small town of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, something strange began to happen in the mid-1960s. It started with odd lights in the sky and strange humming noises. Then, on November 15th, 1966, two young couples were driving near an abandoned munitions plant when they saw it. A massive, winged creature, as big as a man, with a 10-foot wingspan, dark gray, with two huge glowing red eyes that mesmerized them with terror. As they sped away, the creature chased them, keeping pace at over 100 miles per hour. This was the first widely reported sighting of what would become known as the Mothman. Over the next 13 months, more than 100 people reported seeing a large winged humanoid with hypnotic red eyes, ordinary, credible citizens. Then, on December 15th, 1967, tragedy struck. The Silver Bridge collapsed during rush hour. 46 people lost their lives. After the disaster, sightings abruptly stopped. This led to the theory that the creature was a harbinger, an omen of impending doom. Chroniclers like John Keel linked the events to a wider window of high strangeness. For Point Pleasant, the Mothman is a chilling part of history, a red-eyed reminder of a terrible tragedy, and for many a story that refuses to fade. After journeying through these dark tales, we find ourselves back where we started, standing at the crossroads of myth and reality. We've seen a ghostly hitchhiker who leaves behind a jacket, phantom children who instill a paralyzing dread, a faceless man born from pixels, a grieving mother's eternal search, a winged messenger of disaster. Each story is unique, yet they all share a common thread. They crack our safe, predictable world just enough to let the darkness in. The mind explains shadows and wind. Skepticism is vital. But what about shared experiences? Physical traces? That overwhelming instinctual fear of something truly other? Can we dismiss every single account as hoax, misidentification, or delusion? Some say these legends are only myths, but others claim to have seen them with their own eyes. What do you believe? Have you ever seen something you can't explain? Share your story in the comments, if you dare.